Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. Hello and welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, I will show you my Yanmega Prime with Vileplume deck for the Legacy format. So I didn't upload in a lot of time Legacy deck, so actually I took some time to build a few of them. So the first in series of few legacy decks that I actually built in real life and I actually decided to show to you guys, just to fans for the legacy format who are actually interested to play it. So this is actually my build that I test in real life. With the time, I will definitely try to prove it a little bit more. So basically, Yanmega Prime, if you're not familiar with the card, it's stage 1 Pokemon. It can evolve from a Yanma. So it has that Pokebody inside, which says that if you have the same number of the cards in your hand as your opponent, each Yanmega's attack goes to 0. So basically you can hit for the 0 if you have the same amount of the cards in your hand as like your opponent. That's just pretty easy to have because we have Copycat, Judge, and N. And we can easily have the same amount of cards as our opponent in hand. And basically we can use two different strong attacks. The linear attack, who can hit for 40 to one of your opponent benched Pokemons, and 70 with Sonic Boom to your opponent active Pokemon. Weakness and resistance is not applied. So basically with the two shots you can one-hit knockout pretty much every EX in the Legacy with the Silver Bangle, with the two, actually not a one-shot, but with the two shots with the Silver Bangle. To support, I'm running a Vileplume with Allergency Flower, which says that each player cannot play any trainer card from his or her hand, only support a card. And also two Suncorns with Sunshine Grace, who can actually allows me to search my deck for a grass Pokemon, show to my opponent to search, and put it into my hand. This is definitely good because once during the turn, same as the Dark Dragonite, I really like that. I mean, it's the same card like a Dark Dragonite, but the Dark Dragonite can actually search just the Darkness Pokemons. And I really like that Sunflora because you can actually search your deck for Yanmegas, for Glum, Vileplume, stuff like that. Also Cleffa ×2 for that E, just for the turn 1 in case if it happens, it happens. It's better than the Smurgle in my opinion because you can just reach off your hand, drop 6 new cards, and if Cleffa is asleep, you can prevent the damage done from your opponent. You cannot take the damage. And also Keldeo is the last card in this deck. It's a EX, but it's just right here for the Rushing Retreat, just in case you get stuck with the Paralyzed, Poison, a Sleep Condition, something like that, or just Catcher. You can actually just go with the Keldeo Rushing Retreat with the Floatstone. And the good thing is that as long as you have Vileplume in play, or just in case we suffer some kind of Vileplume in the active spot, you can actually just Rushing Retreat. So yeah, 21 Pokemons, which is a lot of Pokemons, but we have no energies, and 39 trainer cards. So from item cards, I also running one computer search as the A spec, so I can actually discard in 2 cards from my hand, search my deck for. I can discard 2 cards from my hand in order to search my deck for any card. Only 2 copies of Junkarm. Junkarm is just good when you actually have non-Vileplume in play. When you actually played Vileplume, you cannot play any more item cards. So Junkarm is just for like 1 or 2 turns until you get Vileplume in play, so you can actually set up. Of course, 4 copies of Level Ball, since I'm not playing any kind of the collector in this deck. I just decided to run straight away with the 4 level balls. I was also thinking about Pichu from the, I think it's, I'm not sure what kind of set. It's from Hard Gold Soul Silver base set, I think. Pichu says that both players can actually set up their bench, and that's pretty much all. You end your turn, you get sleeped. But I think that's also advantage for the opponent. So that's the reason why I actually didn't want to run Pichu. Also, I didn't want to run Collector just because I don't want to stuck with some kind of one Collector in my deck. I just want to have plenty of room for other cards like a Rare Candy, like Getsis, like some tech cards like a Seeker. In my opinion, it's even better than have that single card. Also, running one Pokemon Catcher. Well, it can happen. It can help. It's not that good, but it can definitely help. It's a flip a coin, so yeah, that's the problem. Also running a Pokemon Communication ×2. I mean, for like turn 1, turn 2. So you can actually set up your Vileplume, it can definitely helps. 2 copies of Rare Candy, single Super Road, same as 1 Tool Scrapper, just you never know when you can use it. Also 2 Ultra Balls, because with my Ultra Ball I can actually search my deck for any Pokemon like a Vileplume or Yanmega, because Level Ball is just for those 90 HP or less. From supporter cards, I'm running, of course, 4 copies of Copycat, which says shuffle your hand into your deck and draw a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's hand. So that's the first supporter card that will allow you to hit your opponent with 0 energies with your Yanmega. Also, 1 Getis as stack. Pretty much if you start with turn 1 with it, you can just discard all item cards from your opponent's hand. In Legacy format, item cards means a lot. 4 Judge, of course, same effect as Copycat, but both players shuffle hand and draw 4 cards, so Yanmega can attack. And also ×2, it can also help a lot. Then I'm running 4 copies of Seeker. Basically, running 4 copies of Seeker can help me to remove my Vileplume from the bench, so I can actually play item cards and trainer cards. So I think Seeker can definitely be secret weapon in this deck, in my opinion. Also 1 copy of Twins. From Stadium cards, I'm running 4 Frozen Cities. Well, I actually decided to run some kind of the Stadium card, and I think that 4 copies of Frozen City is the best card you can get for this deck, especially against the other decks. Against any other deck who needs a lot of energies like Ration Boar, because like Frozen City in play, your opponent tried to attack you or attach some energy cards, he needs to put 2 damage counters for each energy attachment from his hand, so I think that Frozen City is just broken in this deck. 2 Flow Stones for that, Keldeo, Russian Retreat, and 3 copies of Silver Bangle for your Mega. So you can actually increase damage done to your opponent EX for 30 more. So I think it's definitely an interesting deck to play. If you're also looking for any of these cards, visit CCGCastle.com. I'm not sure, you actually will not be able to find those black and white cards on it, but definitely black and white on cards you can find in stock for decent prices. And also, if you're new to the store with TCG Center 5 code, you can get 5% discount on your purchase. You can find a link in my video description for store, so you can definitely visit that. Alright, so now when I share my deck list with you, I will actually help you to see how this deck works. So I will play 1 game with it so you can actually see it in the action. So see you in the game. Alright guys, so starting second in this Yanmega Prime deck testing, so I'm going to open with the Cleaver in the active spot. It's a little bit risky to start with the Cleaver, to be honest. If you ask me why, it's risky because if your opponent plays Burbank City Gym and Hypnotoxic Laser, done can happen turn 1. So starting with the Cleaver can be definitely very painful. So there's Professor Sycamore for my opponent, and he discarded like 2 Flareons, 1 Leafeon, Silver Bangle, and double Colress Energy. Alright, a lot of Pokemons discarded, a lot of good resources actually. Double Colress Energy is definitely a good resource. So there's just the retreat down to the Eevee, and he just decided to pass his turn. What I'm going to do right there is I'm going to play Frozen City. I'm going to scrap that tool off from his Deoxys. After that, I'm going to play just a Judge. I will try to play Judge actually before I play Eek. Maybe I can actually get something like a Pokemon Catcher and Level Ball. So with the Level Ball, I can take something like a Sunkern, which is good always. Turn 2 Sunflora in play, it's a very big deal. There's a Catcher and there's a Hat, so I can put his Deoxys into the active spot, and I can go with my Eek. So 7 new cards for my hand. Actually 6, not a 7. The old Cleaver was 7 cards from Neo Genesis. This one is a 6. So I actually wake up so my opponent can attack me. There's Cofagrigus, so it says that you can knock out 6 feet under. Once I'm going to turn you my knockout this Pokemon. If you do, put your damage counters to one of your opponent's Pokemon on any way you like. Alright. And there's a Catcher for Sunkern. Alright, so he just respawned quickly. So I need to find a way to actually retreat onto my Yanmega and to start to apply some pressure to my opponent bench with my Yanmega Prime. So I'm looking for something like Floatstone. Unfortunately, I have only 2 Floatstones, and finding them might be just a pain in the... Yeah. Alright, so let's see. I have Sunkern for my bench, but I'm not sure if I want to play it again. I have Glum, which is good. So probably I will just go with the Glum and maybe Pokemon Communication for Sunflora. Sunflora for... Oh, there's another Flowstone for my opponent. I like that. There's also Flareon, so even better. He can go with the Smeargle. He can try to use Copycat or Judge. So I would assume that he will go with a Copycat because he can take in that situation 6 cards. Maybe he can even go with the Judge. There's a Dowsing Machine, so let's see what he can pick. Another Floatstone. Alright, so... Floatstone for Smeargle. Hopefully I can find a Junk Arm so I can scrap both tools attached. There's a Portrait for... Oh, let's go with the Judge. So he decided to judge me down to 4. He can still play his turn support a card. There is pretty good card in my hand. It's a Computer Search. So if I can top deck something like a supporter card, I can definitely go with Computer Search for Floatstone. But if better, I don't even need Floatstone. I don't even need a supporter card. I can just roll with my Computer Search. I will pick my Gloom. And I will pick my Computer Search for a Floatstone. So I will just take that Floatstone. It's good to have Floatstone. I should maybe go with Computer Search for Sunflora, but in that case I would not be able to attack with my maybe Yanmega Prime, so I just decide to go for that Floatstone, so I can actually use Eek, get 7 new cards. There is a lot of, actually 6 new cards. Again, I said 7, don't know why. So again, my opponent can judge me or copycat me, or do whatever he wants, like using Pokemon Catcher, maybe for my Glum. So he just realized the threat, so he just want to get out of the item lock. So there's Tool Scrapper. Oh my goodness, so he managed to find a Tool Scrapper, but that's not a big deal right now because I have Floatstone in my discard pile, and if I can find something like a Junk Arm for Floatstone, I can definitely use it. Hopefully this time my opponent will actually decide to go with Copycat. Alright, so that's perfect for me, to be honest. If he means double colors energy attachment, I'm more than good. I would like to see my opponent missing double colors attachment right here. He can still play support a card on his turn. If I lost my Glum, it's not a big deal, I guess. So there's 6 feet under, so he will take 2 prizes this turn by knocking out my Cleafa and my Glum. Okay, he can even one-hit knock out my Yanmega right now. I can also take 1 prize, which is N. Not bad. So I need to quickly search my deck for... I'm not sure if I should go for Vileplume or just for another Yanmega. That's just question. Good question. So there's just another Yamask for another Grigus. And there's Vengeance for 90, so that means that he was able to knock out my Glum. No doubt about that I will promote my Yanma into the active spot. And look at the top deck. It's a Vileplume, so I just cannot believe. So there's a Level Ball. And let me see what I will take with my Level Ball. Probably Yanma. So I just want to have another Yanmega for the next turn in play. I guess Junk Arm for Vileplume. Vileplume and Frozen City. So I can pick that very valuable resource, Floatstone, put it into my Keldeo, and go with Copycat. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search my deck for one of my Pokemons, and I will pick something like a Arish, so I can have it for the next turn. Unfortunately, I cannot play it right now because I need to attack with my Yanmega. I'm going to hit my opponent right here for 70 with my Sonic Beam, so I'm more than good with that Sonic Beam. On the next turn, he's going to lose his attacker. He's still down to 4 prizes. He also has something like 2 double course energies just in his deck. I would assume that. So by knocking out his Cofagrigus, he can definitely knock out my Yanmega from play and take 1 more prize, but in that situation I will also take 1 prize. So I need to knock out his Flareon, and he will lose like 3 Flareons in that case. There is fire energy just attached on that Eevee, which is good. If he misses Flareon, then I can just easily dunk or snipe on the bench that Eevee for 40. So I actually managed to get pretty nice hand. Also that Super Road is very good. So yeah, there is a Dino, so he can heal 10 damage from his active Flareon. Probably I should go with the Bansheed one in my opinion. It's better to go with the Bansheed one because it would have more HP left, so he decided to put 3 damage counters on my Yanma on the bench. Alright, so this is definitely damage increasement also for his active Flareon. I can pick 1 more prize, which is another N. So we are now equal with the prizes, but right now my opponent managed to get advantage again. I'm going to promote my Yanma into the active spot. I have Copycat in my hand, so I don't need to worry too much. So there is a Yanma and another Sunkern. So Yanmega Prime just came into play. I will pick another Yanma, put it down to my bench. I will also use my Pokemon Communication for that Cleffa, so I can actually search my deck for maybe even Arish. So I can try to item lock my opponent. That would be definitely a great thing. So I'm going to play my Super Road, so I can put back maybe 1 Arish, but I don't need it. And I'm going to play Copycat. Alright, definitely good thing. So, Sonic Bomb for 70. Flareon is knocked out. Down to 3 prizes, same as my opponent, so we are both equal right now. And he can just go with Smeargle, play Portrait, so he can actually use the ability. I actually didn't talk too much about Portrait. So Portrait is a ability on the Smeargle which says that you can actually look at your opponent's hand and pretty much use any supporter card you find there and play it as the effect of the Portrait. I'm not sure why he actually just decided to go with the Sycamore instead of looking at my hand and play Portrait. So there's Team Plasma Ball for the Flareon, so he can actually use his last Flareon and try to knock me out right there. Before he even tries to play that Super Road, I need somehow to put into play my Vileplume. So getting Vileplume with the Rare Candy is just a big score, because in that case my opponent will just run out of the attacker. So there's Ultra Ball, probably for the Leafeon. I would expect to see Leafeon in play. Unfortunately, a Leafeon, well, it cannot do too many damage. I mean, pretty much with the first attack, Leafeon cannot do any damage counter to me because it can just hit for 20 times the energy attached to all of your opponent Pokemons in play. But my deck is just without energy cards. So right now he's just looking forward to play as many cards as he can from his hand, and probably he will just use the Judge right now so he can actually judge me down to the 4, or he will just actually just decide to go with the Flareon and take a straight knockout. I would say that's probably a misplay from my opponent. So there's a knockout. The good thing is that I have some Flora in play. Let's see, I'm going to play Sunshine Grace. for another Sunflora, so I can have 2 of them in play. And I will actually take a big risk right there by playing a Judge. Hopefully I can find something like rare candy. No sign of the rare candy. No sign of the Vileplume, actually. I managed to find rare candy. So I'm going to play another Sunshine Grace for the Yanmega. I don't have another option right here, so I'm forced to play my Yanmega and hit my opponent Flareon for 70, so next turn he can actually knock me out, but turn after that I can knock out him, and then again I'm in the better position because I can even use my rare candy for pretty much item lock my opponent, so he cannot play any item cards. There's a Floatstone and Professor Juniper, so he goes to the 7 cards. He wants to have a big hand, just because in that situation I might not be able to use my Yanmega Inside ability, so there's a Vengeance for 180. That means that he had 9 Pokemon in his discard pile, so I'm going to promote my Yanma into the active. So right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's a Judge, so that Judge is definitely a big deal right here. Going to play my Sunshine Grace again for Yanmega. And I'm going to play another Sunshine Grace for the Vileplume. So finally I managed to get that Vileplume in play. It takes a lot of time to get it, but finally it's here. So it's a rare candy for the Vileplume, and I'm going to play my Judge. So I can actually have the same amount of the cards as my opponent in his hand. 2 Frozen City, a rare candy, and a Seeker for the next turn. And yeah, pretty much Sonic Boom for 70. He's knocked out. I can take 1 prize. So I'm down to 2 prizes. My opponent is down to 1 prize. Oh, luckily there's a Judge. So he can go with his Smeargle in the active spot until he manages somehow to find a way to attack. But I guess there's no chance that he can actually start to attack me. I guess Stunfisk is the only option. So there's Portrait for that Judge. We are going down to 4 cards. Hopefully I'll be able to find Judge or another Copycat. Alright, so there's N and Copycat. So for 1 turn I'm good because I can actually knock out his Smeargle if he actually decides to stay in the active spot. Oh, there's Leaf Bleed for 90 damage, and he actually just get from the nowhere that Blend Energy and surprise me with his attack. So what I can do right here, I guess not too much. I cannot one-hit knock out his Leafeon. So I guess I can try to... He can hit for 90. He can one-hit knock out my Keldeo. So I have only 1 chance right there. And that's to play Sunshine Grace for another Yanma. Alright. And I guess... let me see. What is the best option? Definitely I need to rush in. There is no doubt about that. And I'm forced to retreat down to my Vileplume, so I can actually absorb some damage. I can even play Seeker, so I can remove my Yanma with the damage counters from play. Put down, again, Yanma on the bench. So that's actually the only chance that I can actually win this matchup. So next turn by attacking my opponent Leafeon with my Yanmega and playing Copycat, so I can actually put 7 damage counters on it, so even if he decides to retreat, I guess in that case it would be a GG. So yeah, having Vileplume in the active spot is actually the only thing that I can do. He cannot play catcher, he cannot shut down my ability, he cannot play item or trainer cards, only supporter cards. So yeah, there's a Smurgle, so he'd probably go with the N. N is the best option that he can go. So there's a Deoxy. He's going to put down Deoxy on the bench. And pretty much he can hit for the 90. That's the biggest amount of damage that he can do. So there's a portrait for N, I would assume. So we are going down to, I'm going down to 2 cards, my opponent down to 1. And luckily I managed to find N. Yeah, it's my turn. So there is a Yanmega. I'm not sure if it's good to play it or not. If I play Yanmega from my hand, I guess I still don't have enough for attack, so I'm forced to play N again. I need to get something that I can play. I cannot play Glum. I cannot play Glum, so I guess I will just pass. We are still in the game. So this looks like a chess battle. I guess for the next, oh, right now he can attack with his Leafeon for like A70. I need to get something as a top deck. Oh, it's a Judge. Whew. Judge will save me actually. Very nice. That Judge actually saved my day. So I can just rush in. And I can retreat down to my Yanmega, and I can hit for 70. I'm not going to use my actually Sunshine Grace. I just don't want to use that yet. You never know, maybe Portrait happens again and N to 1 card, and luckily I don't have N, I just have Copycat in my hand, so he just attached energy, and if he just decide to Copycat, that's not going to be enough. So he can try to tile rep for 20. Probably I will just retreat my Yanmega to another Yanmega because I can use my Sunshine Grace right now. There is a N. I can use 2 Sunshine Grace. I know that I still have 1 Yanmega in my deck, so this is definitely at the end very nice matchup. So I can actually play my Yanmega from hand. And I'm going to play my Copycat, so I can have the same amount of the cards as my opponent have in his hand. Alright, I even managed to find that Twins. I can retreat to another Yanmega Prime, and I can just knock out his Leafeon. So I'm down to 1 prize. I have 5 cards in my hand, my opponent will also have 5 cards in his hand, and there's a Copycat for the victory, I guess. So he can try to use Portrait, that's the best thing that he can do. He cannot use Twins, he can only use that Copycat and try to copy my hand. So there's Professor Zook, and he is just going down to 2 cards. But I have that Copycat in my hand. He can still use that Copycat as the attack of that Smurgle. So there is Dino, so he can heal 10 damage off from that Smurgle. Actually, if he decides to use Portrait and play Copycat, he will just run off the cards from his deck. Oh no, he will go down to 1 card actually. So yeah, I pretty much managed to win this. It was definitely an epic battle. It was a tough battle. I hope you guys enjoy watching it. I guess this video deserved like at least 50 likes. So yeah, right now you managed to see power of the Yanmega Prime. It's definitely a very good deck. It's just fantastic and gorgeous to play Legacy. For the Legacy, it's one of my favorite formats. I just enjoy playing it. So yeah, I just enjoy playing it. So once again, I hope you guys enjoy watching it. Don't forget to hit that like button or dislike button if you didn't like this video, so you know what you need to do. Once again, let me know what you think about Legacy format. Would you like to see maybe some other decks from the Legacy on my channel? I'm more than open to help you to build something or to test something for you so you can actually see how it works. So once again, that was my Yanmega Prime Vileplume deck in action. I hope you enjoy watching it. So till the next time, check my other videos, enjoy in the rest of the day, and stay tuned for tomorrow video. So goodbye.